Hey everybody, this is Caesar with SmallEngineVelocity coming at you with a motovlog and a little bit of an explanation. So, if you are new to the channel, I am a small bore / any board pretty much now. Motorcycle, scooter channel dealing with the Honda Ruckus, Zumas, and any other strange automatics and standards that may be out there. Currently, I had a little bit of a hiatus and I kind of wanted to explain myself. Now, for those of you who are still watching, this is more for closure for myself for the situation that happened with my child, and not really a video for, I don't know, I just wanted to share at the same time, but really it's just to kind of give myself something that feels like it's the end of that particular situation. So if you're interested, go ahead and let's go ahead and roll the intro. Alright, so there goes the intro. So, I can't remember the months. I think it was in mid-November. Well, first let me give you a little background about my son first. My son is a 12-year-old boy. He is a very energetic boy. He has dyslexia and a couple other things, but, you know, he's, for all intents and purposes, a normal child. You know, he doesn't have a lot of friends in school. He gets bullied a lot. Give you an example of some of the bullying that happened in school. A kid knocked down his lunch out of his hand onto the ground, and then kicked the food, picked up, and then kicked the tray, and then punched him in the shoulder and walked away. That kid got in trouble. Apparently they have cameras in elementary schools now, in the public spaces, which is good. They caught him on that. One time when my son was walking back from running at the track with the kids for PE, one of the kids pushed him. And when I say pushed, I mean there was cars coming and pushed him into the street. He jumped back onto the curb and then pushed it back onto the street again. That child also got in trouble. Another kid who was also at the school in a class was flipping him off and calling him names. He called him out, and the teacher said, "No, you can't do that," and got that kid in trouble. Right? Amongst other things, like he's had shirts stolen from his gym class and hidden. Coach never recovered it. He had to walk around with his gym shirt all day. I mean, to me that's pretty embarrassing, if you ask me. Yeah, among other things. There have been many instances. So the school's policy is if something happens, you tell a teacher. You don't fight, don't punch, don't, argue or whatever. Just tell a teacher, right? It's to, quote unquote, protect the kids, right? So that's what he did. Against my better judgment, hey, follow the procedure, because you know me, I'm a rule follower guy, right? So that's what we did. Follow the rules, right? So, after a while, it got really bad. So, what happened was, all these kids that he got in trouble because he told on them all started to, I don't want to say band together, but they all, what is this? Is this an electric bike? It's an e-bike. It's an e-bike. Cool. Yeah, so they started, I don't want to say band together because that was never proven that they were banding together, but definitely some of the kids were upset. They went to in-school suspension, served their time, and they all stayed in the same classroom, right? All right, I'm going to pull this camera up. They all stayed in the same classroom with him, right? So whenever they got out, they were like, "I'm going to kick your ass," and all sorts of stuff. So, come to the incident. So, this is the part where the incident lies within all of this. Okay, if you're going to ride an electric bike and ride in the middle of the road obeying the traffic laws, then why are you riding through a parking lot and cutting? If you're going to obey the traffic laws, obey all of them, not some of them. Anyways, okay, so here we go. The incident. This happened in 6th period in the afternoon on the day of school, and apparently, allegedly, even still allegedly, a kid walked up to him and told him, do you know what I will kill you day is? So what he does is he Googles I will kill you day. Well, he didn't want to Google it, but eventually he Googled it because the kid kept prodding him to Google it. Well, do you know what happened? He has I will kill you day on his Google search on a school computer that everything is recorded on, right? So after class, what they did was they started prodding him, saying, I saw you Google, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I want to kill you. He goes, are you going to come to school with a weapon? I'm trying to not get a strike for this, but are you trying to come to school with a gun and shoot us all? This is all alleged still. And freaked out and pretended to freak out and ran to the teacher. And when they ran to the teacher, they said that my son was threatening to come to school and do violence to everyone. This is definitely going to get a copy. This is going to get a strike of some sort. Anyways, it's just a story, so I don't know why I would get a strike, but still. So he does that. They do that. They get him. He gets in trouble. He gets pulled into classroom. The police call us. The principal calls us, says it's a serious offense, blah, blah, blah. Come get your kid. We had to interview with the principal. We had to interview with the Klein ISD police officer. And, so that's the beginning of all this. So, days after this, so the next day, he stays home because it's better for him to stay home. And the school explodes. The district explodes with people, with rumors. There was several people who said they heard him stand up on the school bus and said a certain time on a certain day they were going to do something. And on a day that he didn't even go to school, people were saying he was walking around showing pictures of him holding an AK-47 and a shot-off shotgun in school. Showing them pictures, which I know he's never taken pictures of them, and they verify that he's with these pictures. Oh my gosh. You can't understand how upset that made me. I'm like, why are these people lying about him? And what is the school doing about it? Well, the school did nothing. They took volunteer interviews of kids. So they didn't target the interviews towards children that were in his class. They were just targeting people who were in the class that would volunteer for it. And those people are obviously going to be either the bullies or people who just like to be blah, 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 and say stuff and be in the middle of the spotlight. So that's what happened. I was, pretty upset about that. They managed to block out all the teachers' signatures except for one of them. So, they didn't really do very much due diligence there. So, all in all, in the end, after me arguing about it forever, they give him the alternative school. The alternative school is where the discipline cases go. And I was livid. I was pretty upset. This is the beginning of another 30 days worth of battle on there. I talked to lawyers and all sorts of stuff. And he is on 504, which is kind of like, if you have dyslexia and stuff like that. Previously, they had been asking for my son to be tested for autism, and we never did it because when I was a kid, and you get diagnosed, or I don't want to say I did because I did, but you get diagnosed, but my parents never said anything to me, so therefore, I never really used it as a crutch on anything, and I didn't want that to happen to him. So in the end, that was the big mistake on there, because that would have, done something for him in some element of being able to explain why he's so wacky with, not being able to be social and wacky with kids and all that stuff. Whatever. Made me upset. To make a long story short, that was a very long time talking to police, talking to the counselor. The counselor was never brought into it. We only talked to the police that one time. I thought they were out of being involved. I asked the school, look at the video footage after class. Did they see him talking to other kids that were like running around him, prompting him, whatever? One of the testimonies that was given in the story was one of the, judging by the story that they told, was the story of the person who was in the class who was flipping him off, saying that she wasn't, and he was making death threats or something. This is pretty obvious who it was. So, from the story. Anyways, I filed an appeal. I wanted to appeal the secondary school, because once you get into the secondary school, you can't transfer to other schools. It's like having a felony and not being able to work or something like that, right? So, I was so upset. My wife was crying, everyone was just like falling apart, and one day, we get a phone call, and it's from not just the crime police, but the police, the sheriff's office, and they're like, hey, we finished the investigation on your son. And I'm thinking to myself, what investigation? I didn't know you guys were still investigating it. And the guy was like, look, Taylor didn't say anything. He did Google the thing. We don't have cameras in the class, so we can't prove that he did, when he Googled it, that someone didn't prompt him to do it. But, he didn't do it, and it was 3 other kids. And, of course, they can't tell me who these 3 other kids are, or they can't tell me what they were doing in any of the other stuff. So, what they said, if they got in trouble or anything like that. So, yay, right? Oh, yeah, and then also said, and I also talked to the district attorney, and we have no case. We won't prosecute your son. I'm like, oh, my gosh, they were going to prosecute my son? So I had to talk to the DA and all sorts of other stuff. Uh-oh. I talked to the DA and stuff like that, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. It went that far, huh? Another thing that also saved my son was that I talk about the 504. My wife, previously in April of this last year now, had him diagnosed from a doctor with high-functioning autism, which, I didn't really want him to be diagnosed that way, but, that's just the way it is. We submitted that to the school. We submitted that the diagnosis was there before. That kids don't understand him. That's the reason why he acts like that. He's very talkative. He's always, every once in a while he goes off on conspiracy theories or Illuminati or something he watched on YouTube, and kids just think he's weird. No excuse, but still, the kids think he's weird. I submitted that, and then later on we got a call back from the school, from the principal directly, saying that she has retracted what she wanted to do with my son. So, put him in that alternative school. So that's cool. I was very excited about that she took that away. Anyways, a couple of notables, we were going to try to online him in this online school. Later on, he got transferred to a different middle school where we have to drive him now because there are no buses that take him there. Oh, look. It's a dirt bike. Is that a dirt bike? Yeah. Looks like a dirt bike. I think my intake is falling off. Anyways, that's the story, and that's where I've been, and that's where I've been focusing my life on, is to make sure that my son gets justice and stuff like that. I've heard other things. My wife posted stuff online on the Facebook groups, and apparently this middle school that we go to, which is the whole reason I moved to this area, was to go to this school district and struggle to be able to survive here. And now that I can finally survive here, that school has a history of terrible bullies. Like, I was reading a story from some lady, and long story short, a kid caused another kid's arm to be broken by doing something, and and her kid that broke his arm in that event was the one that got sent to the alternative school for 30 days. It's like, if you want to protect your kids, and you want that rule to protect your kids in school where you tell them to tell the teacher, don't leave them in the same class as the people they got in trouble with. That just seems like it makes no sense. You know? If you're going to be locked in a room with a bunch of kids, and then that one of those kids is the one that you got in trouble and was a bully to begin with, is going to be irritating. And then you want to send my school to an alternative school where kids go to when they're bullies themselves. Anyways, I don't want to get too upset, but it's all resolved. It's all been fixed as of December. Woo! As of December. So, you know, I'm going to try to get back into the swing of things with YouTube and stuff like that. Get back into life and everything. But my son's happy. We had a great Christmas. We had a great Thanksgiving. And then we found out my daughter, who moved away at the beginning of the summer, is pregnant. So now I'm going to be a grandpa. So there goes the stress all over again. Back to zero. Back to 100 points stress out of 100 points. Anyways, I hope you watched all of this. I hope anyone who, as a kid who is being bullied in school, understands that they're not alone. That, you know, not everybody is, you know, the norm. And, you know, just try to teach your kids not to be bullies, please. You know, be a good kid. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Very long video. I hope I edit it so it's not super long. And I will see everybody in many, many, many more videos in 2023. Thank you.